Thank you so much. So I'm not going to talk about Islamism, Islamophobia, the definitions, what it means, what the religion is. I'm sure you've heard a lot already from our speakers. I'm going to come at this from a very personal perspective because I think that's what we're here to actually discuss, British Muslims in modern day Britain. So I grew up in a family, my parents came here when I was 3 years old, when John Major was Prime Minister. And I grew up in the London Borough of Harrow. I ended up becoming a councillor. But my family are not what we consider, radical Muslims or, I'm not wearing a hijab. And so I consider my family moderate Muslims in the practical sense. And so what I'm about to say is not representative of all Muslims. They're a very diverse group of individuals, and I'm not representing Muslim women for sure. I don't wear a hijab, so I don't come from that perspective. But growing up, my mum and my dad had two different views of how they wanted to practice their religion. My mother was more practicing than my dad, and she wanted us to go to mosque and learn more about Islam, how to pray, how to read the Quran, and how to practice our religion. And so she enrolled us in mosque, Harrow Central Mosque. Every day after school, I would go there and learn the teachings of the Quran and also learn how to pray. And there were two distinct things that I remember from my time at mosque. One was when I was sent home for wearing a Pocahontas jumper, because apparently that was against the religion. My mum was very perplexed. She's a very practicing Muslim, and she was very confused by that. And two was when my dad stood outside the mosque having an argument with one of the female teachers about how the Islam that they're teaching is a very radical version of Islam. And for that reason, he ended up pulling us out of mosque. And so after the age of 7, I never went to mosque again. And that really shaped my view and understanding. And yes, I learned how to pray and I fast and I practice my religion as best as I can. But after 9/11 happened, I realized that I was being treated a bit differently by everyone. It was the first time in my life that I'd been called a terrorist by my classmates because my family were from Afghanistan. And then I realized that actually there seems to be this weird obsession with Islam, and I think that is true. I think people want to use religion as a tool for their own political agendas, whether that's Muslim men within the Muslim community or people outside of the UK who want to further their own political agendas. And I think sometimes it's very dangerous for Muslim women to speak up and speak out about some of the difficulties and challenges that we face as Muslim women in modern day Britain. But I really want to hear some of the questions. So I'm only going to end with sort of 3 thoughts. One is that modern day Muslims who consider themselves moderate Muslims, they don't want to be overlooked for jobs because of their name or their religion. Modern day Muslims don't want to be looked at with suspicion, where their loyalty is put into question in terms of are they loyal to the United Kingdom or are they loyal to another country? Because the Quran first and foremost says that you must be loyal to the land that you live and breathe and eat from. And third, Muslims have the same hopes and dreams as everyone else. They want to have a nice job, they want to raise their families, they want to buy a house, and they want good careers. These are the 3 sort of principal things that I think people should remember when they think about modern day Muslims. And yes, there are challenges within the religion, and that those challenges need to come from within the Muslim community to be tackled, because if it comes from outside, it will be seen as an attack on the religion itself. And that is a huge, huge issue in itself. And lastly, I do think that it's really important for us to have a definition of Islamophobia, because it sets the stage for what exactly people are able to set the bar at. That definition of Islamophobia, the one that was adopted by the APPG in Parliament, actually comes from the definition of anti-Semitism, because anti-Semitism and Islamophobia go hand in hand, in my opinion. And lastly, I just wanted to say that I think it's really, really important to understand that our words are very powerful, and that when people speak ill of Muslim women or people who wear hijabs or vice versa, this has real life impact on the ground. I saw a huge increase in hate crime attacks in my ward in Harrow when there were comments made about Muslim women wearing the hijab or the niqab. And so I think it's really important for us to put respect at the center of this debate, because you might not agree with everything in the religion, but I think that we are a respectful and tolerant community in the United Kingdom.